I had my preference, I have to confess I would live a calibrated, calculated, safe life. When faced with a decision, measure the pros, the cons, the risk, the reward, the benefits, the liabilities, and often that works out well. But it doesn't leave room for God to move and to change the game in a way that we wouldn't account for ahead of time. When our oldest was born, it was clear our lives were changed by Him in ways that we couldn't account for ahead of time. When we were faced with a call to ministry, the pros, the cons, they weren't really paramount. The question was this: is God calling? And if He is, we have two responses: to reply with abandon, to jump in, or to ignore the call. Abandon. Sometimes that's the only response that makes sense. To abandon our safety net, to abandon our preconceived ideas, to abandon our plans, and to respond with abandon to Him.
I was a TV documentary producer, and I loved my job. I went to the rainforest, the Far East. I did programs on the Cardinals, the Rams, the Blues. I did a show once on the Arch, and they let me go up on top of it and change the light bulb up there. I mean, somebody's got to do it. And then God came calling. And His calling was persistent and clear. He wanted me to be a pastor. And I thought, me? But I am so glad that I abandoned my career and said, yes, Lord. And now I'm living God's great adventure for me. And I feel very, very blessed.
God says, follow me. What are you supposed to do? I was in college, studying business in a relationship that had some real promise, pursuing a dream of playing baseball. And God says, follow me. Abandon the dreams you have for success and meaning and purpose, and let me make my dreams come true in your life. What was I supposed to do? I did something wild. I let go, took a leap of faith. Many said it was the craziest thing I've ever done. You know what? They were right. Abandoning my dreams for His was the craziest, riskiest, smartest thing I've ever did. I would encourage you to do the same. Go crazy. Abandon yourself to His call and let Him make His dreams come true in your life.
As a young man, I dated a few women in my life until I finally found the one who fulfilled all of my criteria, one of which was doctor. Yes, I told myself that I wanted to marry a doctor because I liked the way it sounded. I wanted a certain image. I wanted a certain lifestyle. I wanted people to look at what I wore and what I drove and see success. And it's amazing how after I married my doctor wife, God began to change me and show me what was truly important. See, God's call on my life required that I abandon materialism, that I abandon image, that I abandon other people's definition of success, that I abandon an outward focus so that He could use me to touch the hearts of men, women, boys, and girls.
Well, we had everything that people worked for. We had a beautiful home, we had lifelong friends, we were close to family. I had a job and a career that I really loved, pastoring a church for 2 decades with people I'd done life with for so long. It was so comfortable, safe. Maybe that was just it. It was too safe, too comfortable. It didn't require faith anymore. There wasn't as much active trust. There's no faith in living the status quo. And so God called us to abandon all that, to leave everything behind, to travel hundreds of miles and to start life all over again in a brand new country. It's exciting. It's challenging. It causes us to trust God. There's something about leaving the status quo behind and abandoning ourselves to God. There's nothing better than joyfully giving ourselves to Him and leaving behind any other hindrance so that we can be fully abandoned to Him. you tasted the joy of living in full abandon to God? Have you ever wanted to abandon yourself completely to His call in your life and follow His adventure, but you know that in order to do that, there's things that you would have to leave behind, but you're not sure you can do that? Over the next few weeks, we're going to look at some encounters where Jesus invited people to radically follow Him. And whenever they had to do so, they had to leave something behind. Maybe it was their fishing nets. Maybe it was their occupation. Maybe it was doubt. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was just the status quo. What do you need to leave behind? Jesus is calling you, and He says, follow me. Live in abandon to my adventure of life. And each week we're going to look at what it is we may need to leave behind in order to take a next step in that joyful adventure.